Yeah, that's good enough. What's up, MSFers? Good morning. We have a topic to discuss today, which is alliances for the most part. And I encourage alliance leaders to join me in voice chat once this conversation gets rolling. We had some big alliances disband over the weekend. A lot of people were kind of frustrated. This happens every Sunday, but it happened a lot harder this Sunday, right? After everything's been playing out since the unlock of Apocalypse and the rework of Apocalypse, and a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes, which I may or may not be at liberty to talk about, so I'll probably just wait until I hear from somebody else. So lots of stuff happened over the weekend, and not a lot of it was very good, but we're going to talk about some of the reasons that people are having trouble with their alliances and with the obstacles that Scopely puts in front of us. And my wife, in fact, had some issues with her alliance and some feelings, and that kind of brought this up. And then I went and looked around, and lo and behold, people are dropping their alliances left and right. But we'll get into that in a minute. First, we need to play some Marvel Strike Force. But before I even play Marvel Strike Force, I want to say hello. What's up, Zero? We're doing your defense today. What's up, Sifu Shan? What's up, Blake? What's up, Burnsy? What's up, Drapsnat? What's up, Adelina? Adelina? Not sure. What's up, Infitua? I swear, you guys. It's like you guys sneezed into a microphone and that's what you came up with as a gamer name. What's up, Hi, I'm Zero? What's up, Juicy? What's up, Just Hendrix? What's up, Kata? What's up, Comrade Red? Comrade Red? 420? What's up, Lanjay? What's up, Levant? What's up, Lurix? What's up, Sani? What's up, Scarlet Spider? Sean Woody, Sin Minister, Sith Lord? What's up, T-Dats, Army of Darkness? The Shane West, Trust Bread, Whiz Kid. By the way, YouTube, you can always skip through this morning intro. Sometimes it goes a little long. Did I say what's up to Sean Woody? Ravarn, I see you there. Mr. Guardian, hello to you too. Gigabytes Fury and Zero Cool Gamer. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, oh, you know what? It types it out different in the other chat. It's easy for me to read Comrade Red. It's a lot easier to read here when it has the uppercase and lowercase ones. And the other one, it's all lowercase and it kind of smears it together a little bit. So, yeah, I don't get many people's names right, so I don't feel too bad about it. All right, I do have to do a few things. I got to click some red dots and stuff while we wait for things to warm up. What's up, Benny? Duke, how you guys doing? I got my cranberry pineapple juice this morning. Super excited about it. But I'm combining that with my coffee. It's not sitting too well in my stomach. But I'm not going to pass up the coffee, man. Did I forget to say hi to Rolf Kieran? Oh, hey, what's up, Rolf Kieran? How did I skip you? Oh, wow, look at that, I did. Look at that. Are there ISOs and Sons of the Forest? No, Rolf Kieran, there are not ISOs and Sons of the Forest. You know what's funny? One of my kids' favorite streamers, wow, there's a lot of those tiers, look at that. One of my kids' favorite streamers, I think it's like Let's Game It Up or something. He's a guy who plays in those sandbox games and builds things until it breaks the game. Sean Woody resubscribed with Prime. Thank you, Sean Woody. You're freaking amazing. Anyway, this guy, Let's Game It Out, he builds things in-game until it basically breaks the game. Builds them way bigger than they're supposed to. And it's kind of funny to watch him. He did Sons of the Forest, and so I was pretty excited that my kids' YouTubers are doing the games I like to do. All right, let's real quick do an arena matchup. I like to knock these out first. But Tangled Web, I haven't even got to do a Tangled Web with my APOC team. Giga, okay, I'll call you Giga. No problem. No problem, Gigabytes Fury's ire. What's up, Todd? How you doing? We're getting warmed up. We're going to talk about socialism in the alliances. This is playing out weird. I don't do this match. That's weird. Oh, that's right. I don't have to worry about her because I hit no matter what. What's up, Darth Bieber? Thank you for the follow. We'll go over here. And we're gonna ability block you probably. I don't know why. Because like you're one of the targets I can ability block. Like I don't even care about Weaver anymore. Let's rewind some stuff too. Oh, I should have done that on Weaver actually. That's what I should have done. Or I guess it doesn't matter. I guess she won't bother reviving. Oh, that's right. It's APOC. He does all three now, huh? That's right. See there, guys? Apocalypse does do some things. Isn't that nice? Oh, goodness me. I think I can pretty much just hit auto, right? Probably could have hit auto walking into this. Socialism in alliances will be... It's not going to be that big a deal, Lanjay. Or should I say flying high? I don't know, Lanjay, are you going to be going by flying high on Twitch here pretty soon? Should I get myself used to the Switch? Yeah, I like to use words that are eye-catching to get people's attention and get clicks and drag them in here and stuff like that. I'm not above baiting people. I may bitch about it in other people's videos, but I do use it myself from time to time. I guess I can claim anything I want. I forgot to claim my raid milestones and lost all of them. And then I accidentally claimed my Blitz credits from the Blitz events and have none of those. So I will be blitzing 5 rotations a day to make sure that I unlock Moonstone. Pretty upset about that. That's another topic we'll probably be discussing is the hoarding and the resource milestones. 35 more days. They won't let you switch it until then. Let's see, what events? Is there anything important in events? I think I did my second run of, I did my second run of Pocket Dimension. This was a waste. Memory Lane is, whatever. Luck of the Spring, okay. I did my second run of Pocket Dimension. This is coming out this afternoon. And then those are all done, okay. Look at that, it won't allow they are trash. That's crazy. That's crazy. My auto mod has lost its freaking mind if it's trying to block people from saying they are trash. Unbelievable. What's up, Damien? Yeah, how dare you be late to my stream? Gosh. Can't believe that. You do realize, Davian, most people don't even show up for the first hour, right? They like to wait until other content creators get here and start talking. Is the BKT milestone going to expire before the Moonstone event? God only knows. Those timers are only suggestions at this point, comrade. They're really bad about these timers overlapping, ending early, the wrong thing starting too soon. And they're not even Johnny on the spot with the fix, man. Like, they are notified within 30 seconds of that stuff posting. And a lot of times they'll just be like, it's cool, we'll just comp them on the other end. It's really disheartening to see their lackluster ability to get this simple shit right. Quick Rumble milestones usually lasts 48 hours. Yes, so it's my understanding that the previous milestones are supposed to last like just a couple hours into the Moonstone event so you can like get from both of them. You could like Apex Horde that way. I don't know. You know, I screwed myself on everything this time around, so I am coming into it bottom of the barrel in points. It's gonna be rough. Sir, yes, sir. You chickened out and claimed on you were worried about losing the T-Force? What is this? Oh, this is a simmer. Quick Rumble doesn't contain any Blitz credits. Quick Rumble doesn't contain any Blitz credits? Oh, okay. I wouldn't know. I wasn't paying attention to any of it, obviously. I just hit collect all everywhere. Except the one place that I could have. I could have hit collect all on my raid milestones and didn't do that. The event milestones contain 3,000 credits. You see? You're just not allowed to collect anything. You are not allowed to collect anything until the Brotherhood of the Storm tells you to. That's pretty much all it is. Oh, I like this song. Oh wow, the music's barely even playing. I'm gonna crank this up in my ear. It's probably loud enough for you guys. Shoot! I'm not in Gamma! Oh no! Oh my god, I'm not in the Gamma raids! Oh! I just simmed that thinking it was in Greek raids. Son of a bitch! It's gonna be one of those days. Oh my gosh, it is gonna be one of those days. Oh, that was brutal. Let's see if I can get through this somehow with leftover. There's no chance. None of this is gonna get me through. There's no way. Okay, we'll put in you and heal you back up and see if I can just finish this one node, and then I'm just gonna have to let my alliance run with it. That's probably enough here to make it happen. Yeah, I should have used Fury. Well, my Fury's still not built up that much. He's okay, and he'll work in here, but that's all right. I'll use these guys. I need somebody to do some damage. That's why I threw Gamora in here. We're gonna cover you, so that'll slow you down just a little bit, and then hopefully we'll come in with... This ought to get a kill. No, it's not gonna kill her. Damn it. She's ability blocked. Let's go here. Tink, tink. And we'll go here with this one. Zero, I'll have you come in on voice in a minute. You can be a part of our alliance discussion and stuff. Let's go. We'll shut you down because I don't know where you're at on your cooldowns. There's that one. Zemo, come on, step up. Let's go. Poker. Pink. There we go. And I don't think this is gonna do much good, but we'll try it. Tink, tink. We'll put this over here, it won't really matter. Go auto basic now. That was ugly, I'm gonna let the alliance clean it up. Man, I have not been paying attention this week. That was pretty brutal. At least if I were to go in on manual with the wrong team, I could at least just back out and I wasted energy. But when you sim it with the wrong team, man, that's brutal. I guess it's better than simming it with the right team, right? Because like I lost, I think I had like a Taskmaster in there or something, so it wasn't a huge deal. But that's brutal. I don't know if I can go back in. I'll see. I'll see where I'm at when the credits come back around. Yeah, that clip to the intro, huh? Did you guys like the new intro? I did the new intro there. New fresh clips today. Reward those who show up first, not Damian Sapling. He was late. Gosh, that slacker. What is this? Why do I have a red dot here? I can't even click on it. I can't even click on the red dot. That's lame, man. That's a bunch of garbage. It just gave me a red dot I couldn't fix. Lanjay gifting out a 1-month subscription. Comrade picking that up. Thank you, Lanjay. You're freaking amazing. I think that's most of it. I don't know what I can collect on my dailies, so I'm just not gonna do anything until the event starts, man. I'm too nervous. I'm saving all of my energy until the event starts. I'm pretty sure it's just the ISO energy, but as long as I don't let this cap out, I'll be fine. And then I'll spend everything then. I did my shopping. Did the store reset yet? Oh yeah, the store reset, so I can do some more shopping here, I guess. See, I want these, but man, they're expensive. Man, they are expensive. These are pretty good, and I kind of like these, but yeah, whatever, I'll get them too. Okay. What are you guys buying in here? Because there ain't crap I want. Nothing. I don't want any of that. I mean, maybe the adamantium would be a thing, but that's 2,700 and I have squat diddly. I find NF working for me in node 1, but I use Maria again for node 2. Yeah, hoping for a decent heal unique. That's about it, because the characters are trash. Or at least the ones I've seen. I haven't looked to see what's supposed to be cycling through there. I know I'm like a content creator and I'm supposed to know those things, but I honestly... There's so much about Marvel Strike Force that I can't get excited about right now, or I will be dismayed and end up disbanding my alliance. I couldn't disband my alliance. I could leave my alliance. They'd probably be thankful too. The way I play in raids, right? Let's see. No, there's nothing there. Dazzler! Yay! Mobile Gamer says he's looking for these. Why? What's important about these? I don't see any use for them other than her, and I got enough. What about here? No, I got all these characters. This will be nice for Fury, but 50 will cut it, right? Isn't it like 23 and 25 or something you need for 16 and 17? So 50 should do it. Are there any other characters that... Oh, Zemo, if I ever want to do Zemo up. Oh, Medic. Shield Medic, man. I gotta collect that for Shield Medic for sure. 18 and 22 is what it is. Thank you, Rolf Kieran. See, I invite other content creators with more skill and better memory than myself to come in here and help us all through this. New Cap uses it too. Oh, thank you. I'll pick it up for New Cap. You also have a place with my alliance, Run 7, on the waiting list. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Let's see. Nothing there I can afford nor want. All right, that looks like it. That's all I can do in Marvel Strike Force today. We'll check these dailies, see if there's anything I'm forgetting. Campaign progress I've done to the point where I'm not gonna do any more. Campaign, all clear. Advance the alliance. I can do this, right? I can do this one. I think my alliance wants me to click on this button. I'm not really sure, but I will. The big box is lit up. That probably means they want me to push harder. 4 boxes is the 10K donation. The big box means they want Run 7 to core for it. I don't check my Alliance Discord as much as I should. I'm sorry, Alliance. I turn off notifications. Try being a content creator. See if you keep your notifications on. Yeah, just get yourself a monetized YouTube channel. See how long your notifications stay lit up. You're gonna turn that shit off real fast. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Okay. We're gonna bring down the music here. Let's bring it down there. And we're gonna open up this chat because I wanna have a talk about alliances and all sorts of stuff. If you wanna join me, please jump into the lobby and I will drag you into the special guest list channel and we can have a conversation. I specifically wanna talk to alliance leaders, but Zero, like you can jump in here. You know, the usual content creators and community assistance people and stuff, you can jump in as well. Just go into the lobby on my channel and I'll drag you in one at a time. So, it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Troopers disbanding? Did I hear that Troopers was disbanding? Comrade, if you want to talk, you can come on in. Hey, we got T-Dats in here. Let's talk to T-Dats. What's up, T-Dats? How's it going?
Quite well, sir. How are you?
I am fantastic. So, you're an alliance leader, is that correct?
Well, I kind of have a long story. I was basically the alliance leader for a small organic alliance, and then about 4 or 5 months ago, I joined the Brotherhood of the Storm, and I was on their 3rd tier as a captain, and now I'm on the 1st tier team, but I'm not currently a captain, but I've been in discussion with management about me joining as a captain. Why
would you want to punish yourself in that way?
Well, I'm a big believer of service. Somebody's got to do it, so it might as well be me. I think I do a good job. I have done a good job in the past, so that's just part of why I like doing it, just making an impact.
How do you feel about these milestones that are okay. So we have several. I put in the disclaimer here: socialism and alliances, and one of those things is that you have to donate to your alliance for certain events, like I think it's charging station, or there's the ISO 8 energy, things like that. Another instance where the group has to work together and certain people can be carried by the group is in alliance war. So if your alliance wins in war and you don't compete in war and they carry you, you get all the benefit without having to do any of the effort. If in the other instance you push really hard in war and a handful of people don't come to play and you lose the war with all your effort, spending your extra credits and all that stuff, it feels really bad. So the incentive there is to find an alliance. And everybody says this when you're looking for an alliance. Look for an alliance where you'll come in between the middle and the bottom of it, and they'll kind of carry you through tougher content until you grow. That's where you want to be, that benefits you the most. And that's that socialism aspect where the group works together, but there's no real incentive for one person to push really hard to carry the rest of the group. How do you feel about milestones? How do you feel about war, working together in these different things with your alliance to make stuff happen? How do you feel about alliance donation? And what are the biggest problems you find that Scopely has set up with alliances for you, T-Dats? What do you think is the worst part of it?
I mean, are you talking about whale stones that are all clearly, for money? I mean, that's a big.
There you
part
go.
of
If you're in a
left.
spending alliance, your alliance mates might pressure you to spend more than what you want to, right?
Sure. No, that's part of the reason why I left, because for a long time, our alliance was at Plat 2. We were actually a Plat 3 war alliance for roughly about 5 or 7 days before we kicked back down. And just as time went on, that was a big part of the reason why I left. Mm-hmm. I'm a sweaty player. I play several times every single day. And there were just some people, the motto for our old alliance was life first. So it was a very casual, they called it a series casual alliance. But it only took me not getting the top spot on coordinated assault about, 2 or 3 times where I said, I got to make a change here. I loved my alliance, but I kind of felt like I was doing everything myself. And, that obviously is part of the reason why I wanted to make this move. And it was really hard for me because I, did all of the recruiting. I was the war captain. I was the raid captain. I was morale captain. I did all organization, all the maps and all that stuff. And to just put all that effort in and feel like you're not getting the same effort out, I wasn't the actual leader. I kind of stepped in because our old leader was in school and finishing his degree. And I have 4 kids and no life. So for me, it's easy for me to try and jump in and to try and help people and to do that kind of stuff as well. But it just got to the point where, people just weren't putting in the same input that I was. And I just had to make that decision. Am I okay with that, or do I need to make a move? And ultimately, I can't tell you how glad I am that I made the move, because it's just so much more efficient. Like, I'm in Stormbreaker, Knights of Stormbreaker, so, we get 100% Greek almost every single time. We almost always full clear wars. It's just so much more refreshing, meeting all of the, alliance milestones. And part of the reason why I joined the Brotherhood is because of the infographics and stuff like that. And there has got to be something said about joining a cluster. I was very, very anti-cluster for as long as I can remember, but it actually took me making that jump to see that, hey, when you're a big enough cluster and you have a big enough, base, people will come to you. And so recruits come to us, and that's exactly what I did. I came to them saying, hey, I want to join because I know you're an established quantity. You guys have been here for forever. I remember, being in the way back days, looking at that calendar and trying to figure out, when Phoenix was coming or when Adam Warlock was going to be coming out next.
Trying to judge
and
it.
So, yeah, and that was a big part of the reason why I said, hey, I got to make a move. And honestly, to anybody who's out there who's not sure about making the move, I say do it 100%. Don't look back.
Yeah, remember that your alliance isn't your alliance. It's just space that you're renting from Scopely. And if you're in an alliance that is considering joining a cluster, it is challenging to get your alliance added to a cluster list. You usually start at the bottom. But I recommend it's trying to make the move, or just seeing if the majority of your alliance can just solo individually into the same cluster and see if they can be repopulated. But I think that clusters are definitely where it's at. I want to get Comrade Red in here and ask some more questions of things. Comrade Red, are you live? Can you hear us? Comrade, can you hear me? I've got no sound coming from Comrade. Okay, we'll see if his microphone starts working soon. So one thing that I've noticed that is completely, and they just said it in chat a minute ago and reminded me of it, is the MVP in war. It is like the most useless thing other than you get to see your name on the screen for basically pushing harder than everybody else in your alliance. And that's it. You don't get any reward for that. And I was thinking if they implemented something like you could make a first, second, and third, like MVP and then runner-up or something, where you get a little bit of a reward for that. But then I thought, well, there's going to be a lot of people, you know, I know that there's some alliances that has one person who gets MVP every single time because they're way bigger than everybody else. So I figured they should at least make a top 12 different rewards, or maybe 1 through 24, and there's a slight better payout in the war stuff for how you do within your alliance. That way, everyone within your alliance is incentivized to do better, and it would create a little bit of internal competition within the members of your alliance, rather than just a shiny token that flashes on the screen for a second saying, yeah, this person carried you guys.
I think the real solution is to make the winning rewards better. I mean, because what are we talking about? Like 250, 300K in gold? I mean, is that really much of an incentive? I know for me, I love Alliance War, because for me, it's about the coordination of everybody, you know, working together. And then, you know, you log in at that reset and you see all the flashing reds. It's like, that's what I like about, you know, war, is that it takes everybody working together towards a common goal. And that's why I enjoy it so much.
Right. And I think if you're in an alliance where people aren't doing, right, your alliance should have some sort of a charter that says, we require you to do X, Y, and Z in all these game modes, and this is what is expected of you. And if you don't do this, they replace you, right? However strict they want to be, wherever they set those goals, that's kind of how it works. The problem is that when you have a dwindling player base, or a player base that certainly isn't growing, you get this issue where it's hard to find a replacement. And your captains and your leadership is hesitant to get rid of this person who's dragging their feet because somebody's better than nobody.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. It's but that also goes back to the cluster discussion, that when you have a big enough cluster, if people are underperforming or overperforming, then they can, you know, apply and they can transfer up and downwards. That's part of the reason why I transferred up, is because I had sent, when I made the announcement that I was leaving my old alliance, the two of my heaviest hitters almost immediately messaged me and said, yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. Wherever you go, I want to go too. And so I needed to make an announcement because I didn't want to leave everybody, you know, on one day's notice. So I actually waited a week. I sent my first guy that week. And then the following week, I sent my second guy, and then I waited till there was actually space for me to come and join, just because I wanted there to be an orderly transition. Again, having a cluster, having that ability to go up and down is fantastic. I like the concepts of a strike system. I mean, again, this is a 24-team game. If you are not on board with everybody else, then you need to find a different alliance. I think it's just that simple. If you're very casual and you don't want to play, you might only play once a day or once every couple days, there are so many alliances who would be glad to have you. Related note, it still bothers me that some people won't even go on Discord to try and just communicate, because again, I know not everybody is about that life, you know, not everybody is sweaty about playing Marvel Strike Force, but even just like simple routine communications, like it's important to coordinate efforts. I mean, you know, we've got, you know, strike teams, and then we've actually got teams within the strike team so that we can notify when Mystic's down or when Skill's down, and that just helps me so that I know that I'm not wasting time. And honestly, going to a higher alliance has made me realize how much less time I actually have to play, because if I schedule it around, you know, the resets, then I only need to log in, if I really want to, just 2 or 3 times, you know, 3 times a day, and then I'm done. And that's what's nice about it, you know, because like, again, I've already finished, we've got 60% on 3.5. I was just checking my energy and I was at like 38, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get close to 50 anyways, why not just go have another fun attack? And I threw a trash tech squad together that went terribly, but that's neither here nor there. But
how do you feel about the raid key situation? How if one person doesn't really contribute to the raid keys, it can set the entire alliance back because there's such a strict cap on individual contribution.
Again, that's part of the reason why I left my old alliance, because there just wasn't enough people who were doing that. I'm a big fan of waiting till you've got 24K of each of the keys and launching them at the same time every day, so that people know, they can be consistent about it. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, there's always going to be that time creep over time, but for the most part, if it's 5 o'clock, I'm usually pretty consistent. At 5 o'clock, I'm checking the web store so I can see what's going on. I know obviously at 5, the stuff on in-game is updated as well. So, having it around that time is what we have usually done, is right about 5 p.m. Eastern is when we try and launch everything at one time. So, and then again, when you're in a sweaty alliance, we constantly have more keys than we know what to do with. But that's also part of, having a good alliance and a good structure and having good leaders who can kind of make this stuff happen on a day-to-day basis and who are obviously thinking about things and are strategic. You think about, like when a new raid is starting and trying to squeeze in a raid, before the new raid starts so that you can actually have 3 raids going at one time. It just takes, a certain level of sophistication that a lot of people either don't want to or don't need to. But when you have that sophistication, it makes things very easy, honestly. Mobile had said something a long time ago that I'm finally seeing now. When you're in these top tier alliances, it's easy. Most everybody just shows up and does their job, and there isn't really any real need to, call people out.
Yeah. The only coordination then comes in when you're doing those speed wars at the top, where everybody has to be coordinated. Everybody has to be there at the exact same time. Everybody has to be lightning fast and have the right teams and lots of communication. That's the only challenge they really come by, because everybody else is just used to doing what they're supposed to do. They show up, they're habitual, they're all sweaty, and so the raids just happen, the keys just happen, and all that stuff, it kind of comes in. But then when you drop down to the next level, the 101 and on down, those alliances, you start running into issues where people hit real life all the time, and there's problems. But I don't think this is what is really contributing to some of the major alliances disbanding, do you?
I think it's mostly Apocalypse. I'll tell you, I was playing Skill Raid and for like the 1,000th time last week, and I said, why am I even doing this? All of this hullabaloo for Apoc just for him to be this completely substandard Ultron or Ultimus-like character, and it really took a lot of wind out of my sails. It's just, I've been grinding, saving for months, years. Now,
how do you feel about him after his latest rework?
I think they should have done it from the beginning, but again, I'm in the right place that I know that this is a predatory company. I know that this is all about money for them. They don't care about the user base. And that's unfortunately just the way that it is. And so you either need to have that in mind, or you need to find another game.
You don't think there's any middle ground where Scopely could maybe change things to where some of these events are less resource-oriented and more towards gameplay? Or do you think that would offend some of the bigger spenders because they get to spend and blow through those rewards and milestones?
They can, but they won't. They've already proven that over and over and over again. How many bugs do we have on any given day? How many, if anything, the difficulty of these events, they all seem like they're cranking upwards, like this, the event for Captain, for World War II guy. You got to buy him in order to get these optional, but you can farm him, at the event of a week later. But it just, it's all about money for them. And I have to give credit to Mr. Hartgrave that when I was kind of getting into my more sophisticated MSF understanding, I started, watching content creators and seeing what they have to do. And Hartgrave is 100% on point on this. This, you will never be able to compete. There will always be people who are going to spend thousands and thousands more dollars than you will. And if you are not okay with that, then this game is not for you. If you align your expectations of, that way, it's kind of like inverting things. Like if you look at everything as being good and not looking at everything as bad, it makes the game a lot more enjoyable, because then it's just about playing the game. You know, I love Marvel movies. I love collecting heroes. That's where I started this game in the middle of COVID, because I was bored and I needed something to do, and I typed in Marvel, and this is the first thing that came up. You know, mind you, I haven't played video games since college. You know, I've played a couple, you know, mobile games on my phone, but nothing quite like this. And, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's just having fun with this game. If you're only worried about what you're missing out on, then I don't think you can enjoy this game, and you're going to burn out eventually. Now, if you don't care about that, that's fine, but I think we're all kind of here because we're sunk cost, and that, well, shoot, I've already given 3 years of my life to this thing. How much more do I want to give? And, you know, it's just at a point where, you know, you get towards the top, your roster starts filling out, you're getting most of the characters that you want. And this is what I've been trying to do, is build my roster up so that I can make an impact, and to try and, you know, make an impact. You know, I am the 24th TCP on the team. I will be 20 million probably sometime later this week, but I consistently get in 12 to 13 attacks. I've got 35 million, 40 million easily every war. But that's because I've also captioned myself as the tip of the spear. Yeah. The tip of the spear likes to get in right when war starts and get in all their attacks as soon as possible.
So you are definitely one of the sweaty ones, huh?
Very, very sweaty.
Big Salty, thank you for that raid. I appreciate that. We're talking with T-Dats here. We're having different people come in, and we're just talking about the alliance issues, what people think is working, what isn't working, and how the community feels about that sort of thing. T-Dats, I'm going to get Zero in here and see what he has to say. I don't know. People are jumping in and out of the channel, and I'm not really sure why, so I'm going to drag Zero in here. Zero, you got your microphone on? No, Zero doesn't have his microphone on. I don't know what's going on with that. Let me try...
You might be stuck with me.
Yeah, I guess so. Juicy, you were saying something about the top disbands and reforms all the time. It's the nature of the top, and you say that by May, troopers will be back. Why do you think that? I mean, we've seen troopers come and go before, so I'm kind of curious about that. My biggest... Yeah, there we go. How's it going?
Yo, it's Zero, by the way.
Zero, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. So what do you think about all this alliance hubbub? Some big alliances disbanded over the weekend, and they're all upset over... They're really mad at Scopely and that they're not having any fun.
Mad at Scopely always. I mean, and a big part of that comes down to people not not having either the right perspective and outlook on the game, or people not understanding some certain aspects about the game. And I think there's some things like what T-Dat was saying that were like hitting the nail right on the head. And there were some other things where it's like, I think you're just not looking at the full picture of things. So like, for instance, you know, your Kang Hunt, that event they have right now with Captain America World War II, people are looking at that as like a negative thing when it's actually a positive thing. You know,
I don't know so much about the Kang one. That just felt bad all around. But when they lowered the star unlock on World War II, Cap, I was a little happier. I was like, okay, I can almost core this guy now. I wish they would lower it down to 1 star, and then I could have purchased the cores. I'd been in there on that event to build him up, and I'd have been spending my resources on him. But how do you think that's a positive thing?
Well, I think the thing is people aren't looking at it with the right perspective. You know, people are not really understanding these kinds of events. They're thinking of them as what our normal events are, like replacing events. So, you know, you have your normal events that come through every month that this is the event. But these are not those events, though. These events are on top of. These are extra things that Scopely is throwing at people that want to core these characters, that want to buy these characters. They're not something that is in place of doing their normal event. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this isn't like the unlock event. The unlock event's still coming. You're still getting that. This is an extra bonus on top of that for the people that decide to core it, for the people that decide to buy them, for the people that are buying them anyways.
And instead of looking at it like, hey, this is something extra that I can choose to partake in if I want to break out my wallet or spend extra cores, they're looking at it as something that is, hey, they're excluding me from this event because I refuse to break out my wallet or spend extra cores. And so glass half full, glass half empty. I guess you're right. I never thought about it like that. I would be willing to spend more cores on characters if they unlocked it 1 star. The problem is that if they're trying to influence me to spend money or cores, it's still too far for me. I would spend the cores to unlock those characters and take part in those events, but it's just too far for me, so if they lower it down to 1 star. But you're right.
It's fine. Like I said, this is just something extra that they're doing. People have always cored characters. People have always bought characters. They never used to get thrown something extra. This is literally just something extra that they're throwing on top of it. It's not like that's the only event going on at that time. When Kang Hunt was out, it wasn't the only event out there. During this this Cap World War II thing where the extra event, it's not the only event that's out there right now. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just either you do this or you got nothing to do in the game. You know, it's an extra thing that they're simply doing to reward the people that are unlocking their new characters.
Let's take the Kang event, for example. The Kang event was blitz heavy. I mean, you had to do, 8 blitz rotations a day. Almost all the shards that you got were 2 shards. I know I didn't even get a single red star on my Kang, so I'm really pissed off about that still at this point, too. And again, the whole long term for Kang was to try and sell Quicksilver, which just goes back to the predatory part of this, and that they're just trying to make more money. They're trying to sell more teams.
Yes and no. I mean, every single character that they've released, though, in the last year, depending on how, aside from like your Scourge teams, or aside from not your Scourge, aside from your the Scourge event, that legendary character, every team that they've released has had 1 to 2 extra powerful characters in that team, and the one that's the most impactful on that team is the hardest to get every time.
You're talking about Agatha? You're talking about...
I'm talking about Agatha. I'm talking about Hulkbuster. I'm talking about Abomination. I'm talking about Gambit. I'm talking about Kang. They're the most useful characters. They're the most impactful, either on their team or as a plug-and-play character. You don't need to build your Masters of Evil. But if you want to do well in Arena, you need to build Kang.
Right.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I tried to skip him last night. I took him from level 1 to level 90. You
can do it, but it is a challenge. You can check out the LVP's list of videos. He shows how to do just about every different combination with whatever you have in your roster in the arena. But it is so much easier with Kang. I equate it to me trying to skip Dormammu, and that lasted about 15 minutes, and I was like, nope, and I unlocked Dormammu and built him right up, and I went, wow, this is so much easier now.
I skipped Dormammu. I skipped 2099. My shard has a lot of high spenders in it. I'm only just about 3 years in, so I don't have like the day 1 players and nothing like that, but I have some pretty good spenders in my shard, and I am the lowest TCP in like my top 100. I'm the only person in the top 100 that didn't build Dorm, that didn't build 2099, and I got number 1 on my arena shard without them. Pre Apocalypse. Now with Apocalypse, there's no getting around. I mean, my entire top 25, every single person with the exception of me in my top 25 has Apocalypse.
It's kind of like my Shang-Chi. Kind of like that. I skipped Shang-Chi and then went back and unlocked him, and it was a lot easier. What do you guys think? There's a lot of negative talk about Marvel Strike Force right now because one or more big alliances disbanded. Do you think it's the end of the game? Obviously, I don't. Obviously, I feel this is the cycle it goes through. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a really low point in the game? Or do you think it's just a lot of people are exhausted from Apocalypse and they're using it as an excuse to quit the game?
Yeah, so here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand a lot of aspects about this game, and they get short-sighted because they get the FOMO, because they get everybody getting that group thinking that everybody thinks the same thing and all this stuff, and they don't look at the bigger picture of some things. So like even Apocalypse right now, he's one character. Is he going to be good now? Yeah, sure. With that rework, he's going to be really good in a lot of game modes, but he's still one character. He's still the Dormammu, Doom, Ultron character that at previous iterations with our Dark Dimensions, only the top few people unlocked him right away. With these Scourge events and everything,
50% of the active player base unlocked Apocalypse. You know, the daily login people. 50% of them probably. It's just a number I'm pulling off the top of my head, but it seemed like it was way more prevalent than a Dormammu unlock, than a Day 1 Doom unlock kind of thing.
Right.
Can I just vent for a moment real quick? I have all of my teams G16 with the exception of Abomination, and I've been waiting on augmented gamma radiation for the better part of like 2 fucking months. Just give me some gamma radiation, please. I want my APOC.
Right. That's another frustration, is some of the bottlenecks in the game. But bottlenecks, I think that they absolutely know and understand where the bottlenecks are and what they are, and those are absolutely intentional. They're not saying anything because it's a no. Scopely never says no because they don't want to be heard saying no. They want us to believe that there's a chance this could change in the future. But it's a no. They're just not going to say it. And these bottlenecks are going to stay in place. People are complaining about gold. People are complaining about training mats. People are complaining about teal mini uniques. They're complaining about ISO blue 4, blue 5. All that stuff, they know, they understand, and that isn't going to change until they want it to change. And I don't think any amount of griping is going to really make a difference. Do you guys feel that there are legitimate complaints coming out of the community, legitimate things that are wrong with the game? For me, it's the silly mistakes that happen, the silly glitch offers that anybody who just proofreads the stuff could stop that from happening. I don't mind the bug kits in the characters. Honestly, I think that's pretty standard for the industry. And they're doing a halfway decent job lately of going back and fixing them. Kang's kit, for instance, he was only broken for about a month and a half or something before they got everything kind of working on him. And his bugs weren't that bad. But the stupid kits, the stupid things like, oh man, Mobile Gamer had a list of broken offers yesterday. It was just ridiculous.
14 and 15 orbs that were given out for like $5 or $20 or whatever.
Right. Just all the silly stuff that if they would just proofread, it wouldn't happen. And those bother me. So those kind of little mistakes happening repeatedly again and again. The red star where they're not actually in the drop rate. Like, how many times have we had that happen? And it is a huge frustration for both sides of the community when that happens. Those are the things that I think are genuine grievances.
So I say yes and no on that. I think some of it's accidental, and I think some of it's intentional.
You think? Oh, you're a 4D chess kind of guy, tinfoil hat man.
Well, I do genuinely think some of it is intentional. I think that some of it actually is accidental. But like, I think, so for instance, something like that Apocalypse kit, how the Apocalypse was very underwhelming when he was first released. I think that was intentional. I think that they had plans from the beginning to buff him, but they didn't want to release him over buff, because what will happen is if you release a character that is too strong, Eternals, for instance, that break the game, they can't scale them back. Like, how many characters have they significantly nerfed? Ever. Right.
They have to write special things into the new characters to take into account the characters that they made too big, which is why I believe, and other people are telling me that I'm crazy for thinking this, I think that they intentionally put out APOC underwhelming with the expectation that they were going to have to bring him up. They probably felt it's better to undershoot it and then fix him later rather than overshoot it, because they can't nerf. You just can't nerf in the gaming industry, not directly.
I think they designed APOC a year ago, and they didn't take into consideration all the changes in the arena meta that had happened in the last year. I don't think they ever intended on changing the kit. It was only when they got this huge backlash and everybody saying they're going to quit. I mean, you got Tadano Max saying Apocalypse sucks. You want to hit him where it hurts, Scopely. You hit him with Tadano Mac and these big Krakens that spend thousands and thousands of dollars, man. And I truly don't think that they intended to do that. I think they were going to keep it just the way it was, because when they had designed it, it probably would have been a very, very good character. But then when you have Weaver thing and everybody's got a 7-star Weaver now, well, that changed the whole meta of the entire arena. And I just don't think that they were competent enough to actually, look and say, hey, is that something I should, change or fix or what? And they just kept things the way they were, and they kept the release schedule as they had already planned. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate that, but I really genuinely do not think that's what it was at all. I do think that his kit was initially designed a year ago. You know, not factoring in all that other stuff, and I think that, but I do genuinely think that they did not want to release him too insane because of the fact that too many people were able to unlock him. If it would have been something where a smaller portion of the player base was going to unlock him, then I think they wouldn't have worried about it. Like when Dormammu or when Doom was released, and they were obviously like by far the best characters in the game. It wasn't a big deal because only a few people had them. So it's not like you're going to be seeing that all the time, all across the player base, where it's going to become problematic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we just don't know. We just don't know. They don't give us that kind of information. They don't give us their internal metrics to know if the sky is falling and everyone is quitting Marvel Strike Force. We don't know the actual size of the player base, of the active players, of the daily login players. We don't know if they're losing spenders or if they're replacing them as fast as they're coming in. They don't seem to be changing course. The prices tend to incrementally increase. The rewards incrementally decrease. They tend to go more and more in this same direction. They're just turning up the temperature of the boiling water that we're in. And I don't see them changing course anytime soon. And I know that there are a lot of things going on in the background between the biggest spenders in the game communicating with Scopely their grievances. And I don't see anything changing.
They're recycling events. I mean, they're giving us old events that they've done from years ago.
Right.
I mean,
they genuinely thought that the 5th was going to be a success. They genuinely thought that the player base was going to be very excited about that. They thought that the medic suit and the chroma key reskin of Kestrel was going to be the pivotal hood ornament on the 5th extravaganza, and that all these nostalgic events were going to go over really well. They genuinely thought that. Now, there are people who really enjoy the skins. That's cool. I'm not one of them, but I get that. That's a big deal for a lot of people. It's a really not big deal for a lot of people also. And the nostalgic thing, that's cool, but that doesn't really feel rewarding. It kind of felt lazy to me. But they genuinely felt that was a big thing.
Guys, we know exactly what the right reward is. It's 1,000 or the 5,000 power cores. I mean, that would have got me really excited.
Another glitched offer in the player's favor. That would have been a real cool 5th anniversary.
Well, I mean, for the Loki one, you signed up for Scopely Online, you got 1,000 cores or whatever. I mean,
right.
Even something like that, 1,000 cores is a lot, and that would have got me really excited. But yeah.
But the people that enjoy this game, though, are gonna appreciate stuff like that, though. People that just like this game because they like this game will appreciate that kind of nostalgia and stuff like that. And even for like the newer player base that didn't get to experience some of these characters, you know. The problem is
those events are trash with trash characters.
The problem is that so much of the older player base doesn't play this game because they like it. They play this game like it's a job. And you are not going to appease that player base. And I think that this month was meant to appease some of them. I think that they figured that most of our player base that is, agitated or doesn't like it. Oh, did I get kicked out?
Nope. You're still here. I added Conrad to see if his microphone's working.
Oh, okay. I think that these people that complain about everything are going to complain about everything. And I think that this month was specifically for those people and they don't even realize it. This month has all of these events that don't matter, that really do not matter much at all. And has some rewards that are at the higher tiers for your people that go hardcore. They can get this stuff. But the problem is those are the people that are the most disenfranchised by this game. And those are the people that really are going to complain about everything. So they don't even realize that these events are for them. These events are to skip, are to give you a break from the game, are to let you step back, vent, and then come back in and go hard next month on that Invaders team.
Yeah, I think the messaging.
Why wouldn't you go big?
The messaging coming from Scopely is pretty poorly crafted. They need to kind of let people know. I wish they would allow for some sort of back-channeling messaging through their envoys where they can't say, hey, we're giving you this event so you can skip it. They can't say that, but they could let the envoys know, and the envoys could tell the really engaged players, hey, this is meant as a skip for people who don't need these resources so they can take a break, because a lot of people have been doing it. So there's a messaging issue there, and then you're right, people aren't looking at these events. But I do want to take note, and I want to mention before we go further into this, whether this conversation goes negative or positive, you definitely get, as a content creator, you definitely get more clicks and views when you go negative, when you say the sky is falling, when you put the word quit in your title. When you do anything like that, you get a lot more views and clicks. Case in point, I made a recap video just the other day saying it was really good that we have each other to get through these cycles of change and everything. It was a very positive title and everything. One of my lower videos ever, you know, but previously I put something else in there, something along the lines of the sky is falling, and it gets twice as many views as normal, right? So I try not to bait people with those titles, and I try and stay positive, but I also know that every once in a while you got to snag a few new viewers by baiting them into it with a negatively themed title, with a shocking thumbnail or something like that. So that gets clicks and views. There's an incentive for people to be negative. And that feeds upon itself, and this community can then feed upon itself in the echo chambers that we create. And we have to take time and remember other voices that maybe aren't as loud, and other things that are happening, and the people that are having a good time, and the things that are working. And remember, there's a lot of turnover from just a natural burnout, a natural succession of events where people are just like, hey, I've been playing this game for 5 years and it's just not doing it for me anymore. And they leave, and there are times, like on Sundays, or after the end of a year-long event, or after a month-long event, people are just like, yeah, it's a good time for me to quit and walk away. And so you will have a rush of people out the door on certain days, certain months, certain years. And that may be a natural cycle. So we got to take all of that stuff into account, all the different reasonings, all the different things that push people in or push people out, what we're hearing, where we're hearing it from, and why we're hearing it. And then ask ourselves the biggest question: am I having fun playing Marvel Strike Force? The basic thing, not looking at what other people are doing, not looking at other content creators, just ask yourself, am I having fun playing Marvel Strike Force? For me, the answer is, when I'm not resource hoarding and I can just play the game, yes, I have fun. I'm enjoying Cosmic Crucible. I enjoy War. I enjoy the Scourges, which were really done well. I enjoyed Pocket Dimension, even though I was full auto through it, the nostalgic going back through it with the BKT, because I used that team in Dark Dimension 2. Even though they just cut and pasted DD2 back in there, it was still fun for me to go back through and go, man, I remember when this was hard. So there are things that are fun. I personally would like to get away from the resource milestones and go towards gameplay milestones. That way I don't have to hoard so much, and I can just jump in and play the game and be encouraged to play the game. I would also like some more features with raid keys so that my entire alliance can contribute at least twice as much as an individual and have a raid, an alliance cap rather than an individual cap for the raid key donations. I'd like some incentive to get everybody into War to do their individual part. Like maybe, I don't know, the bottom person gets 50 shards of a gold orb and the MVP gets an entire gold orb, and you scale it all the way through. It would give people a little bit more incentive to get in there and do the boost, to get in there and do their attacks, and less of this idea like, well, my alliance is going to carry me, so why should I put forth the effort? So that's my take on the situation. Comrade, is your microphone working? I see you talking, but nothing's coming through, buddy.
Ron, while you're sorting that out, I'll go respond real quick. The stuff about the envoys and being able to communicate information to, from the staff to the envoys,
yeah.
I think there's a disconnect. I mean, the envoys are, they're not the money part of this. They're not the decision making. I worked for a Fortune 100 company that had 5,000 people across the country with dozens of different departments. And when you see corporate structures on that level, you see that, one, incompetence rules the day. 2, nepotism rules the day, and 3, money rules the day. I mean, Cerebro and Archangel are probably being told, you know, here's what it is and this is what we're going to do, but they have to hold that stuff back because that's internal corporate stuff that they can't share with people even if they wanted to, which I'm sure they do,
right.
But they can't because that's a part of keeping the corporate structure going. As we know, money rules all in this country. If it's not making money, then it don't make sense. And that's what Scopely is all about. They're all about making money, and they're doing a great job at it.
And my problem with my issue with this is they obviously know how to make money. They're obviously a capitalistic company, right? So why do they tend to implement so many of these features, especially with alliances, that don't incentivize individual growth, but rather this like utopian idea that we're all going to work together? Do they really want us to just try and find this perfect alliance where everybody has the same TCP?
Show here.
This is why I didn't turn on the channel points, you guys. This is why I didn't turn on the channel points. Thank you very much. So why do they, you know, do they really want us to be in these alliances where we are exactly at each other's level, doing exactly the same things? And if so, why don't they implement some features to help alliance leaders and captains find, acquire, kick, you know, restructure their alliance better? That doesn't seem to be a high priority, although it doesn't seem to be the community's highest priority either. I don't know, but is that really what they want? Because otherwise, I think they need to allow for more individual growth within the alliance so that you can compete with your alliance mates for growth. That would push me to spend more resources or spend more money if I still broke out my wallet.
Well, just a little bit of background about me and my take on this. So I am an admin within a pretty decent sized community of alliances. We don't like to call ourselves a cluster. We call ourselves a community of alliances because we don't micromanage each alliance. We let the leaders manage their own alliances, but we are a community of alliances. I am a recruiter there. I am an admin within there, and I, with my alts account, go through and take over alliances and lead alliances that don't have leadership in place or that need leadership or need guidance. And what I see a lot of in a lot of alliances, I communicate with a lot of people in the community, is you have a lot of alliance leaders that are very nice, very kind people, but not necessarily leadership material. Right. So you might have a guy that is dragging the alliance down, or maybe you have 5 guys, or maybe you have 10 guys that are dragging the alliance down that are not on the same level as the rest of your alliance, that are not able to complete the same content or able to be as active as the rest of the alliance, or a variety of things where they're just not on the same level as the rest of the alliance. What ends up happening a lot of times is, oh, this person's nice. Oh, this person's kind. Oh, we've been together forever. Oh, we're friends, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to get rid of these people that basically need to be an alliance that suits them better because they've been playing with their friends for so long.
Right.
That makes sense. And I don't think that there's anything that Scopely could implement that's going to change that kind of mentality.
And I think stochasticism has something similar to add to that. Stocky, I just brought you into the group. You're an alliance leader, you say, and you do not want any more tools implemented for alliance leaders. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I'm an alliance captain, and Scopely has a history of giving you a gift and then punishing you for that gift later. And it's not necessarily that I don't want the tools. It's that if we think alliance-related events are bad now, wait till they give us tools to actually manage these things properly, and it'll blow you away what they come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, look at MSF GG. You can't even send a message to a recruit through the website. It's crazy.
Yeah. So Scopely is a well-oiled machine at making money and incentivizing people to spend in ways that they don't even realize they're making you spend. And they will find new ways to make you spend with the tools that they give you that you think is a gift.
Well, I got to tell you, this bonus stuff, like the Kang event and the Cap 2 event, I blew through my cores trying to core unlock these characters, crossing my fingers for that big drop. Now, I'm not spending money in the game anymore, but that was a new thing that they did, and it got me spending my cores like crazy, which now I'm kind of screwed for other things that'll probably come up. You know, and of course they made sure I couldn't get the character unlocked because they had core spending events prior to these. So I was depleted of my cores when this came around, and I sat there thinking, man, I really want these characters unlocked. I really want Cap 2. Maybe I should just go ahead and buy a $5 pack of cores to get this done or something. And then I was like, what am I doing? This is exactly what they want from me. They want to frustrate me, push me into doing this and doing something I don't actually want to do. And I'm glad I didn't, because I would have felt bad about it. I feel very good sticking with my free to play status, my dead whale status. So yeah.
I think Rich on Chips has a great model about this, and that he tries to build one team behind, so that when you're building up the resources, by the time you're ready, then you can apply all the resources and move forwards. I think it's a great strategy.
And you know what? That idea, I think, got out there, and I think that they're going to start countering that, because the Rebirth team is not farmable, yet rumor has it they're going to be required for this next legendary unlock. Now, this is all rumor. I have no verification of any of this. It's just rumor and speculation. But it sounds like what they would do. Hey, the community found this great method of being very diligent with their resources and waiting for this, doing the second team, you know, the last team out, not the new team. And so now we're going to make them push for that newer team a little faster before those resources become available, before they can farm that character.
It's not for a legendary unlock.
What is it?
It's rumored to be for, well, it was data mined by Tana to be the new iteration of campaign event for Captain America World War II, which is going to require Rebirth and Invaders.
Right.
Just like the Kang event. So.
But is it a permanent event? It's a permanent event, right?
We have no idea. Everything that I saw was just 2 lines in a file.
Yeah.
Was interpretation. Everything else was interpretation on top of that, whether it's permanent or not.
Yeah, and it's all subject to change. It's data mines, it's interpretation.
For making campaign events worse and worse and trying to squeeze more and more money out of them, because that was too much of a gift for players.
I am 2 things, and that's patient and stubborn, and that's why I'm okay playing this game.
Yeah, you kind of got to have those in a big dose, don't you? Patience and stubbornness. Yes. Yeah. So,
well, kind of touching on what Stockton said earlier about them giving us tools as Alliance leadership, and then them using that as like a mandatory. It's kind of, if you look at the way the events have come, when you were talking about, when Rum was talking about earlier, these resource depleting events that we have, we never used to see these in the game because people already depleted their resources in the game. People weren't hoarding on a wider scale. There was very few people that were using their resources wisely. Even though you had people in the community like Philosopher that would tell people this is a resource management game, you know, people weren't getting it through their heads. And when people started finally realizing that, hey, I can manage my resources properly and be able to complete some of these things that they want me to pay for, they started going, Scopely paid attention, and they started making events that require you to manage your resources.
Doesn't this exacerbate the situation where you have to now hoard everything with the expectation of, if you want to do, not even complete the event, just do well, just get that item at, you know, milestone 23 or whatever it is, that you have to now hoard everything. And it seems to be exacerbating that situation. And I thought Scopely, I could have swore somewhere along the lines they said we don't want to encourage hoarding, but everything that they do says otherwise.
No. That's what I'm saying. They don't want you to encourage hoarding. They do not want you to hoard your resources. But since we have been, and since we did it, they said, all right, if all you guys are going to hoard your resources anyways, then here you go. Now you have to hoard your resources in order to complete these events.
Get rid of the mailbox and make all the milestones go towards wins, losses, use of a character with certain gear tier, stars, whatever. I don't care. You know, reward the people who spend by doing the stars and gear tier if they want, but go for gameplay rather than resource and get rid of the mailbox, and we can all have a lot more fun playing the game. And then people aren't going to be hoarding because they can't, or at least not in that one area. The mailbox hoarding is just stupid, ridiculous. No one should have ever had to do that in the first place. Yes, hoarding. Yes, Ambassador, I know. Hoarding helps players and hurts the game company. And there are a lot of free-to-play players who don't want to get rid of the mailbox. They want to do this because they are better at hoarding than a lot of spenders and stuff, and they think that's an advantage. And that needs to be taken into account, too. I would rather get rid of the mailbox, but there is a case to be said that hoarding does help some players out, so don't forget that.
Yes, I mean...
Corporate doublespeak. They want you to pay money, but of course Scopely's face is going to say, no, we don't want that. We want you to have fun. They don't care if we have fun. Again, the company's objective is to make money, period.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely, and we aren't meant as free-to-play players. We are not meant to unlock every character. We are not meant to have every character built very large. The players that spend the money are meant to have a distinct advantage over us so that they continue to pay money. And that is exactly why, now that they see that a large part of the player base has caught on to resource management, why they're trying to deplete our resources so that we have to choose. Okay, do I get Kang or do I get Moonstone? Okay, do I get this character or do I get that character? Can I build this team? I have to skip this team because I don't have the resources to get that team or to unlock that team. And that's what they want. They don't want free-to-play players to be able to compete on the same grounds as spenders.
So I've got a question for you guys. What do you guys think the purpose of the free-to-play community base in this game is for? How do you think Scopely views free-to-play players? Is it just somebody they're hoping to turn over into a spender? Or do you think that they could find another advantage to having a large and healthy free-to-play player base? Let's go Zero. What do you think?
Well, there needs to be, everybody can't be a spender, especially with the game model that they have, with the monetization model that they have. Their monetization model is they want to get very few players to spend a very lot of money, a very large amount of money, versus having a lot of people spend a little bit of money. That's sure
what it feels like. I don't know that for certain, but I agree. I think that's what it feels like, but I don't know that for certain. There may be internal metrics that we're just kind of assuming that the way it looks, squeezing the biggest spenders and getting rid of the middle spenders by offending them with certain milestones and choke points and bottlenecks and stuff.
Well, you can tell by a lot of their pricing models and a lot of their rewards, that is their main goal. That's their main priority. But they also do want to squeeze every last dollar out of the littler guys as possible, too. They want it all.
Right.
But they are more focused on squeezing the larger players and the larger spenders is what they're more focused on.
T-Dats, so do you think that there should be do you think that there is a possibility that they could put a higher value on the free-to-play community rather than just an opportunity to eventually turn them into spenders? Do you think there's another use for the free-to-play portion of the community?
No, I mean, their whole objective is to make money, is to extract money out of people. Yeah. I guarantee you, when I'd started this game, if I had seen $4.99 next to the game, I'd say I'd move on to another game because, I don't spend a lot of money. I have spent some money over the years, but, I'm mostly free to play now just because, I don't care that much. I'm here to play games at my own pace. I'm here to have fun. I understand. I have a realistic expectation of what's going on, that this is a predatory game. They're trying to extract money from me. I'll say what, Boomer says, bonus stuff is bonus stuff, man. And I'm not going to get caught up in the hype because if I did, I wouldn't be able to play this game. I would have burned out a very, very long time ago. And that's the biggest thing that keeps me in this is people like you, Run, and Mobile, and, Tana, this is truly a community. I feel like, I haven't even met a lot of you guys, or even talked to you, but I feel like I know you guys, and I just love the Twitch community because I've just learned so much from people, and we've all grown together, and it just seems like we're hitting this critical mass of more and more content creators, more and more organization. And I just think that we're really at a good spot in this game as a community that, you know, if I focus on the community, then I'm good. But if I focus on the other stuff, again, I'll quit, man, you know, right. And I don't want to quit. I enjoy playing. I enjoy watching streams. I mean, I'm sure you guys see me around.
Yeah, once or twice.
I love you guys, you know? Yeah.
So I have a little bit different take, and I'm curious if Stocky feels the same way or differently. I think that there is a case to be made that there is more value in the free-to-play community than they are taking advantage of because of things like what you said, T-Dats, with the community as a whole just coming together and being this... People come and play Marvel Strike Force to be a part of our community. Like, once you start watching stuff on Twitch and you watch a video or something, you kind of get hooked and you start coming back and you start recognizing all the regulars and people are saying hello and coming, and it feels like you're headed down to the, you know, the Cheers bar after work or whatever, where everybody knows your name and you become a part of this community, and that's a draw here. There's also a lot of people creating a lot of content for Marvel Strike Force that helps the game become better and more fun to play. Those players are not being recognized or treated with enough respect by Scopely, in my opinion. And finally, if Scopely were to nourish the free-to-play player base in a little bit better way, show a little bit more love to them, allow that free-to-play player base to grow, where people came here and said, hey, this is a great game for free-to-play or spenders. There's stuff at both ends of the spectrum for us. And they would go, yeah, come play Marvel Strike Force, and word of mouth would get out and the player base grows, and not everybody that joins Marvel Strike Force is going to join to be a free-to-play player. They're going to come in and they're going to get frustrated at a bottleneck and they're going to whip out their wallet just like Scopely wants them to. So I think the opportunity for growth would be a good idea to try and push
really
that.
Connected to that. You know, at my last alliance, very casual alliance, I think people underestimate how stupid a big part of our user base is, that don't go on Twitch, that don't go on Discord, that are only relying on infographics that God knows how old they are. I can't tell you how many times in my old alliance I'd have people tell me that they autoplay nodes. And
I don't want to call those people stupid by any means. They are simply disconnected and maybe ignorant of some of the best information out there is the case. But yes, the majority of the player base is not as informed as people who are here in this chat right now.
Right.
I think we need to make a distinction between free-to-play and new players.
Okay.
Because I think there are plenty of long-time free-to-play players that are very successful at this game and know what they're doing. When you bring up community, a lot of the benefit of having a free-to-play player base is having a large community, for one, just purely so that the game's not a ghost town.
Right.
If you don't log in and, you know...
Yep.
How would you feel if you were a whale and there was 40 other whales and you couldn't even have a complete blitz rotation of unique people? I mean, that's not a fun experience at all. So
or somebody comes to the game and they want more information. They go to Twitch and no one is streaming Marvel Strike Force, and you go, "Wow, this game isn't very popular. Why would I want to be a part of this?"
Streamer has 3 people in their chat.
Right.
A game. So,
you know, when I go to Twitch and I see one of the top titles, and you see several streamers with tens of thousands of viewers, you go, this is a popular game with a large community. And maybe this is shallow of me, but I don't want to play a game that nobody plays. I want to be a part of the popular crowd, okay? I mean, that's a part of life. We all want to be a part of something bigger. And so if you grow the player base and everybody says, hey, let's come here and check this out, that helps. And I don't think that they recognize that enough myself.
So Scopely does a horrible job of getting new free-to-play players.
Yes. And one thing that I've been suggesting lately that they do, that I hope that they at some point implement, is do something where you just, when new players join, they automatically get player level 75 after they play it for a week. They play the beginning for a week so that they learn the mechanics of the game. And then at day number 7 on a calendar, they automatically boost them up to level 75.
But Zero, how are they going to sell them that $100 hyper bundle package we hear rumors and leaks about? How are they going to sell them that if they give it to them for free, man?
That's an offer that's coming soon.
New players are so far behind, though, that they are going to need to do something to get these players boosted up to at least a somewhat reasonable level. Get them in Doom 1 off the bat. Something. Get them 7 days in or so, maybe even 30 days.
Double drop shard rate on characters that that longtime players don't care about. You can do all sorts of things.
Well, even give them a team. Have them.
Hell, give them Kree minions, says David. Yeah, give them the Kree minions. They should seriously give them the 5 Kree minions, 7 stars just for joining the game.
Yeah, give them some teams so that they can do each mode, or do even just one mode, even just raids. Give them the teams that they need to complete Doom 1 and the resources they need to build them to level 75, gear tier 14. If they make a mistake and they level other characters, that's on them, but give them the resources that they need to be able to do that, so they can look on the communities and go, hey, who should I be building right now? They gave me all these free characters, they gave me all these resources to build them, who should I be building them? And people in the community that are knowledgeable will say, well, duh, dude, you got you got your Axemen or you got your Web Warriors. It doesn't have to be Rebirth and the new characters. Give them last seasons. Give them last generation. What was
well, and they're not
of.
doing Doom 3.5 anyways. They don't need this season's raid characters. Now, case in point, when I first started playing Marvel Strike Force, there was a screw up, and they came back with the gold calendar. The gold calendar of all gold calendars, which gave out something like 100 million gold. I don't remember what it was. I thought it was standard issue when I joined the game. I had no idea what was going on. But I was able to join and build up my roster and spend tons of gold and fly through the game. And I was like, this is amazing. And I did exactly what you said. I had so many resources. I wanted to know where the best place to put it was. So I started searching YouTube videos, and I came across Mobile Gamer, and the rest is downhill, right? So that worked really well to lodge me into this game and really make me want to get into it and play it even more. I went back not too long ago and tried a new account and started from the beginning, and I hit somewhere around like Commander level 50, where I didn't have access to everything, and I ran out of resources, and it was an absolute slog, and I was like, forget this, I'm not going to do a new player account. This is boring, this doesn't work, I'm stuck, I don't want to play. They need to get players over that hump and into the mid to late game as fast as they can, because that's going to get them spending on new stuff, and they don't have to give them any of the new stuff, just enough resources and the access to the older stuff to get them through.
Scopely's entire model of users was sort of highlighted in a post that was on Mobile Gamer's stream a couple of weeks ago, and that the number one metric that they care about is how many times, it's not even that you log in every day, basically how many times a day do you log in. Their entire model of users is getting you to log in as many times as possible to play the game.
And that's why we'll never have less than, that's why we'll always have a 2-hour blitz timer with 8 rotations, and the blitz things are never going to go away, because that's one way to get people to log in every 2 hours.
That's why you have a 2-hour blitz timer. That's why you have 3 shop refreshes. That's why you have
that list of like 15, 16 different refreshes, restarts, server turnovers, all that crap. Yeah.
Well, it's everything.
So all of these things are designed to make their metric, which is how many times a day do you log in.
Just push the login metric is what they really seem to want.
PhDs in whatever, statistics, math, whatever, that model what they call the user funnel. Mm-hmm. And they have different layers of users, which is at the bottom is free to play, light spender, heavy spender, Kraken, and they know that for however many times a day you log in, you have a certain chance of spending money. And the more they get you to log in, the more you're going to be tempted by hitting a roadblock to spend. And that is everything that they do is built on this model of moving users up the funnel and getting people to log in more and more and more and more.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't move one of those two things, then they're not going to do it. Even if it looks like it's a gift, like the gold calendar. What did it do? It made you log in because you had gold to invest in things you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you thought you could.
As soon as I had
things.
energy to spend on something, I could go do it. And I would just, my cap then was that I needed to push my commander level. because I had plenty of gold to build up all the characters I want. I had like a full roster, like fully maxed the first couple of weeks of gameplay because I didn't have anywhere else to spend all this golden resources. And then later I realized that calendar was a mistake and I continued spending like that and put myself in a hole. Xander says the argument for slow play is that it allows people to make mistakes and it not be roster destroying. It allows newer players to learn the game and to make the connections needed via YouTube, Twitch, Discord, etc. Fast progression means that people have more chance to make a roster busting decision. I think they could still progress us faster, Xander, but then also highlight their freaking Envoy program and direct them toward Envoy created or any independent content creator created new game player advice. Don't use the Scopely new game player advice. They're terrible. They're outdated. I don't know who makes those, but they're junk. But they could direct them towards their own people who are already working for them for free, and they could help people progress faster and be more connected with the community, I think.
The backlash to letting people have fast progression would be absolutely insane. I mean, everybody, well, I've been grinding for all these years. Why do you all get to jump to 75? I can't imagine it wouldn't be a huge backlash.
I don't know. The players that I talked to at the top, they're all excited about getting players progressed faster and moved up faster, get them playing the bigger characters and increasing more connected people playing at the higher levels. That's what I hear. I'm sure there are going to be people who feel that's not fair, but at the same time, it's like they're either not going to affect you at all, or they're going to increase the player base of people that you get. You want better matchmaking? A bigger pool to choose from is going to help.
No, not at all. Not any fucking planet. No,
Zemo, we're not talking about progressing somebody high enough to beat other people, just to catch up to other people. You know, there's a big difference between the top 20 alliances and progressing to level 75 commander level right out of the gate. There's a pretty big gap in there, a gap that I'm in the middle of and I'm never going to overtake, so...
Yeah, level 75 with last year's characters is not going to let you compete with somebody that's level 90, level 95 with this year's characters.
That's right.
No way.
It's not going to let you compete with somebody who got to level 75 by grinding their way up there today because they're accessing today's characters, not, you know, last month's characters.
Yep.
Well, Midnight, between level 52 and around 65, 64 or something like that, I found was the biggest slog in the game. I would like progressions, like, I don't mind if it's spending, I think $100 should launch you right up into the mid-game no matter what. A package with a few teams unlocked at 5 stars with enough resources you can fully flex them out. And that way you have enough stuff to do everything you want in the game at level 70 or whatever. And for $100, that sounds like a great idea to me. But again, that's not something I don't think Scopely is going to do because it doesn't progress their metrics like the way Stocky was talking about.
Well, and when you're talking about like how many logins per day, look at raids, campaign, ISO campaign, and war. Why don't you log into raids and just have all of your raids for that raid already all of your energy? Why don't you have your 10 to 14 attacks? Why don't you start a war with 10 attacks already right when you log in? Why don't you have your campaign energy for the day?
Because they want you to log in every time you get 10 energy built up. Yep. Every time you get one more war attack, they want you logging in again and again and again. And that's why the server reset times and the store refreshes, those are never going to go away. They're going to keep them all spread out. We're only going to get more. We're only going to get more currencies. We're only going to get more currencies because they want it to be confusing, so we make mistakes and we don't understand. They don't like it when Boylon puts out a spreadsheet showing you exactly how many blitz rotations you need to do. Stocky, go ahead. You had something to say?
Even if you get caught up and make everything the same, every single currency or energy that you get refreshes at a different rate. Campaign energy is one rate. ISO campaign energy is another rate. Your raid attacks, you get basically one attack every 2 hours and 24 minutes. Your war attacks are on a different schedule. It's everything is designed so you can never have everything in sync. So you log in multiple times.
And they also want it to be confusing. That's why we have such a wide variety of currencies everywhere, while they're constantly introducing more currencies whenever they can. And that's why the point systems in the milestones for events are convoluted, with number scoring systems like 666 points or 1,241 points, instead of just saying if you get a point, you get a point toward the milestone. They want it to be convoluted so that the average player, and we're talking about the 90% of so that aren't engaged on Twitch and YouTube, those people who are not paying attention have no freaking clue what's going on, and they are getting the least value for their effort because they don't know what they're missing out on. They don't know to save their Blitz milestones like I didn't. They don't know to save those. And so they collect them like I accidentally did. And that would have been huge for them in this afternoon's event. And they aren't plugging their envoys, they aren't plugging content creators, because we will lead those players to information like this, and they don't want that actually happening.
Well, very few people out there, I'm not even talking about just in the game, just out there in general, very few people are both very smart as well as diligent. So, you might have somebody that, being really smart is rare enough, but then there's a lot of smart people out there that are lazy as hell. You might be able to figure out the math, but do you want to sit down and do it? Do you have the time to do it? Do you care enough to do it? I mean, so the more convoluted they make these things, exactly like you said, the more convoluted that they make these things, the less people are actually going to sit there and figure them out.
Yeah,
I'm embarrassed to admit how long it took for me to realize that you could actually join a raid and not be on not be in a default alliance.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they don't explain. Yeah. Guys, this conversation ran a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I think we hashed up some good ideas. Zero, we got to get to your defense, buddy.
Okay, do you want me to stay in here or do you want me to hop out?
Jump into the stream channel and, Stocky T-Dats. If you guys want to hang out, you can, but I think I'm probably going to wrap up stream after we do this video because I've got some personal stuff to do in real life. But, Zero and I will jump over to the stream channel and we'll get this thing recorded.
Are you going to share your screen with me or no?
Yeah, I'll jump into the stream channel and share the screen with you. I've got to cut up these things too. So YouTube, thank you for joining us. We're going to go record a video. You can find that video on this same channel. Like and subscribe, all the usual stuff. Thanks.